When you're on the phone to a substandard electronics retailer or insurance company, the chances are they won't have enough staff on the phones, so you're going to get quite a lot of on-hold music. Well, what keeps you on the phone then? What keeps you from slamming the thing down on the table? Well, it's the music. It's got this sort of subliminal power to draw you in and keep you waiting for 3.5 hours. Well, I'm going to have a little GarageBand exercise here to try and sort of unpick the bits and pieces that make you stay there. Here I am with GarageBand for iOS then, and I'm going to try and get to the bottom of this on-hold music. Now, I'm going to start with a drum beat. Now, thinking back to the sort of inoffensive early 90s sort of electro bands that people thought they liked and thought were cool, but actually realised they weren't. Nameless. I'm going to just find an electronic drum kit. Let's try that one, the 606. Perfect. That's exactly what I need. Real sort of inoffensive sounds. So I'm going to record something. Now, the other day when I was on hold, I worked out the tempo was about 89, 90 beats per minute, and it seemed to have this sort of little swing to it that's not too fast and it's not too slow. So I'm going to record at that tempo. That's too fast. That's 110. I need about 90. There we go. So let's try that. Okay, something like that. That's fairly inoffensive, yet offensive. And I'm just going to cut at bar 5, just to give myself a nice 4-bar loop. Very often you will find that on-hold music is a continuous loop. And sort of 4, 8, 16 bars maybe. It's just easy to program, easy to have on the system. You don't need to load up lots of music. So if I just play that back, it will have quantized automatically to 1/16th note. That'll do for me. Okay, so I'm going to loop that. Now, the music side of things, it's got to not really have anything like a solo or verses or choruses. It's just got to be one chord sequence that just goes round and round and round incessantly. So I'm going to find a bass sound that's, again, something that's reasonably inoffensive. Now, of course, on the phone, you're not going to hear a huge amount of bass. So the bass sound that you use has got to have a bit of mid-range in it. So let's see what happens with a sequence bass, perhaps. Let's try that. Let's go to notes. Yeah, that's not quite what I was looking for. That'll do for starters. I can always change the sound afterwards. Okay, so there's a little bass line there. It's fairly horrid, but it'll do. Let's have a little listen back to that. I'm just going to quantize it to 1/16th note. Ooh, 1/16th, there we go. And there were 1 or 2 notes that I needed to correct. So I'm going to go into edit mode and just have a little play through and see what happens. That was the note. So, now I've got to have something that is fairly chordal that just binds that together. So I'm going to click done on that. Let's find... The electric piano is often a really good thing to glue stuff together. I don't want to get too into this because I don't want to be labelled as somehow the expert of musical pap. But... something like that. So, few wrong notes in there. Of course, I'm using the on-screen keyboard, which isn't ideal, but you can do this all on the iPad, should you wish to. Should you wish to write on-hold PAP music. So, let's have a look. Get rid of that one. Make that one longer. So just looking for obvious notes that are incorrect. There we go. So I'm going to select all of them as well, because I'd like everything to be a bit quieter. So if I select all and then velocity, I can just make it a bit quieter like that. So it's a bit more gentle and a bit more sort of accessible. Don't forget, on-hold music can include anyone from 16 to 116. So it's got to actually play to everybody's sort of musical tastes, as it were. So the bass at the moment isn't working for me because it's too trebly. It's a bit edgy. So I'm going to take going to go into plugins and EQ on that bass, and I'm just going to get rid of all of that treble fuzziness. Okay, so that's a little bit safer now. Let's add a guitar, or another synth. We need a little hook line that makes people go ding, 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 while they're sat there on their sort of 93rd minute on hold. Ding, 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 ding. Something like that, something really inane that will get in your psyche, and you'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning going ding, 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 ding. So, guitar, let's have a look at, let's get an acoustic guitar, nice accessible sound. Okay, it wanders about too much. There's not enough of a hook there. It's also not very loud. I'd ideally like to play that guitar sound a little bit gentler, so I'm just going to take the level down of all of the other instruments and just bring the guitar up, but only tap very gently. So I'm going to try my little line again. Okay, that's annoying enough. So if I just go back to the settings here, I'm just going to quantize that. There you go, it's already sort of sticking. Now we need a little bit of movement. We need like a little synth that can sort of go that can just sort of play a little 16th note, sort of horrendous little rhythm, pulsating. Maybe that would work. Let's see what happens with that. Just drag over to the right, see if there are any other controls that I can make it even more annoying. Yeah, that sort of thing. That's really horrible. Okay, the little note there that I got wrong. So let's go back into the edit window there and have a little listen to that. I know you're having to hear it again, and I'm very sorry. There it was. There we go. And I'm going to quantize that. Now, what I've done is I've actually used a combination of the echo, the ba, 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 in combination with actually jabbing it in 16th notes to make that delay actually work a bit better for me. So I'm just going to quantize that. There we go. That'll do. Now, we need something, a little counterline that's quite high up that can just tie everything together, because it's all sort of rhythmic stuff at the moment. We need a sort of that sort of thing. That's not quite what I was looking for, really. Leads, here we go. Perfect. Something ultra horrid. Okay, so it's too loud in the mix at the moment. I'm struggling to play those ideas because it's all a bit loud. So I need to have that really down in the mix where it actually will end up anyway. Let's have a look at that, see what happens with that. So I've selected something where I've got a pitch variation, so it's not necessarily going to stick on the semitones. Okay, that's all right. Now what I might do is just swathe that in a little bit of reverb, because it's a little bit direct at the moment. We want to have it so that it's washing in the background but not too loud. That's kind of there. Right, I was going to switch the metronome off now. It's very easy for that to stay on, and you're thinking, why is it just... And it's the metronome. So, we're sorry that you are experiencing delays. We're really very unusually busy. Please hold the line and someone will be with you shortly. And there it is, an attempt to keep you online for that sort of disappointing call when it's finally answered after 3.5 hours.